Hello there, Glenn Wallace here with another Gear Lizard video about pedal chain order. And a quick note about Gear Lizard. This channel used to be called Gear Lizard. Now it's Glenn Wallace Music. I'm trying to do more than just pedal reviews, but the Gear Lizard stuff is the pedals and the equipment stuff. Glenn Wallace Music is everything else. Okay, got that out of the way. So, pedal chain order. As long as YouTube and videos about pedals and people who talk about pedals and pedal blogs and all that stuff have been out, I still run into a lot of people that say, I have no idea what order to set my pedals in. And the answer is, whatever works for you. I mean, you have to experiment. However, if it just completely mystifies you, this is a good method that has worked for me for a long time, and it's pretty simple. I'll explain why I set it up the way I do, and give it a shot. All right? So first, I run my compressor. I don't use a lot of compression just because I play on single coils and I like the higher strings to sing a little bit more. Okay? So this could be here, this could not be here. Compression is not for everybody. Next, I run a J-Rocket Archer as a clean boost. Again, I play on single coils. It helps fatten things up. Then next, I run into my heaviest distortion, or fuzz, which is right now is my land device is HP2. Now, the reason I like to run into the heaviest one first is because I enjoy stacking gain pedals, and I like to run into my more, I guess, bluesy style overdrive, which right now is a BB preamp. Later, because when you run the heavier one first, you hear more of the blend. If you run the heavier one after, you hear more of just the heavier one. So it's really what you're going for, but I like to blend overdrives. So here's the BB preamp by itself. All right, here's the HP2, and here they are together. So that's nice and hairy. Love that. Okay, moving on. I go to my volume pedal next. The reason I go to my volume pedal after my gains is because I like the swells I do to be a little fuller. Watch the difference here. I'm going to clean up my volume knob, which I like volume knob cleanup on overdrive. But I'll use my volume knob for that. I don't need to use a pedal for that, and that's how it ends up when you run it at the beginning of the chain. In the middle, you get these nice full swells. I'll put a little delay on there. As opposed to, let me do a swell with my volume knob. It just doesn't sound quite as good to me. It sounds a little more consistent, a little more full with the volume pedal run after the gains. Okay, so next, I go into the best one knob pedal ever invented, at least to me, the Exotic EP Booster. I use this to pop up for solos, mainly. So let's say I'm on my bluesy overdrive. And then I want to pop up. Okay, so that's my first use of it. Second use, if I'm playing a song that's entirely on clean, which doesn't happen that much, but if I am, I will just run it with the J-Rocket Archer, the compressor, and this guy all together. It just gets a really nice, fat, clean tone. Here it is without it. And the final use of this pedal, when I can turn my amp up loud enough, which is a Fender Deluxe Reverb, I have it on 4 right now. They start to break up around 5. I'm on the vintage channel. I'll just try to push this guy a little bit more, but it's not going to sound quite as good as when I would turn the amp up, which it's in my homemade ISO cab right now, so I can't get to it. All right, so gets a little bit, you know, kind of natural amp-like overdrive. And like I said, when you can turn these amps up louder and you put this guy on, boy, does it sound cool. Okay, so next we come to what I call stage 2 of the pedal board, which is modulation delays and stuff like that. If you have an amp with an effects loop, I encourage you to run all these effects through the effects loop unless a specific pedal maybe has a buffer in it that you like the way it colors your tone. A lot of people like some of these old Boss pedals right here, have a buffer in it that colors the tone in a way that they like, so therefore you should put that in your chain. However, if you do not have an effects loop, this is a very good way to do it. So next up I have the Strymon Flint. Now the Strymon Flint is tremolo and reverb. You can set the order. You can set tremolo into reverb or reverb into tremolo. I like to have everything with reverb and delay at the very end of the chain, so I set it tremolo into reverb. Next up, I've got the Wampler Doctor. It's a delay. I use this one for anything that I have to tap in. So I don't necessarily use it for just, you know, having some delay on a song. I really like to use it for specific stuff. Also, I like to use it, I use it for slapback a lot. You know, if I can, I actually broke my toe on this foot, so it's kind of hard to tap. Okay, we're just gonna, I'll tap it real fast and then. I really love the way this pedal sounds. It sounds great. All right. And then last, I have my Earthquaker Dispatch Master, and I love this one because it's just nice tone coloring. And it's got reverb on it. So if you notice, I set the Strymon Flint tremolo into reverb. I really prefer to have all the reverbs at the very end of the chain. I can't have that with this, so it makes me happy that I have this, because then I get to have my reverb and delay at the very end of the chain. So that's it. After this guy, it goes into the amp, and then you play, and hopefully it doesn't sound like crap. So let's go over that again. Number 1, compressor. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't. So maybe it's not even number 1. Number 2, clean boost. Great if you play on single coils. If you like your tone, then you know what? Maybe that's not even there. Okay? Number 3, fuzz distortion, really heavy, higher gain sounds. Number 4, lighter distortion, lighter overdrive, transparent overdrive, just not as meaty, and it works better for the stacking of the two. All right. Number 5, volume pedal. Number 6, solo boost, or another clean boost, or something to drive the amp. Just matters what you want to use it for. You could also set this before the volume pedal. This is just the way I have it wired. And that concludes stage 1 of the pedal board. Then stage 2, modulations, reverbs, delays, stuff like that. I always put everything like chorus, tremolo, vibrato, phaser, flanger. You know, you could pretend that was this spot right here. All of that first. And then after it, everything that's echo, reverb, delay associated, and then into the amp. So anyhow, if pedal chain order is a mystery to you, I encourage you to try this one. It's very easy to mess with after you've got it all laid out like this. Then you can start moving stuff around, and primarily it's because of the way the pedal board is divided up into 2 parts. Everything gain and volume, compression associated, and then everything modulation, reverb, delay associated. I did not come up with this myself. I can't remember where I found it. Probably just over years of asking people and reading blogs and just trying stuff out. But it works very well. So give it a shot. Feel free to comment. If you got any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Please be constructive though. And I will see y'all later.